Yeah guys, so unfortunately had no choice but pull out of that spot because that was in the Kinross, or the old Kinross forest. Forest is starting to grow back a little bit there now, and I was only there probably a few minutes, and in that period of time there was about 3 or 4 four-wheel drive trucks come in, and all of them had pig dogs on the back. And you don't want to get tied up with pig dogs and people there run their dogs around. You never know what could happen. It could be very expensive, pull up and park and somebody put the bite on you. So I figured I'd get out of there, and I'm back now to this old Banjo Patterson way, and on this park here there's a statue of old BP down there, so we're back to that one there. Yes, overall what I thought I'd get back to this one and tell you that I've done roughly about 320 k's since I put it up and tried to sell it that day. And this bike is going extremely well, no problems whatsoever, and it really is a nice little bike to ride. So I think at this stage we can forget about the idea of cashing it, and I'll just get onto it now and ride it and see how things go. I've had it on the dirt a couple of times since then. It's been raining a bit too each time I've been out, so I made this double sort of cushion to put on that seat to stop me getting a wet arse when I'm riding it. So that works all right, because like I said yesterday, I was out, got out to a place and I was right off 50 k's or something from home when it started raining, and I got well, totally drenched on the way back, but the bike really behaved well, and I also put that down to these Moto's tyres. I think they surprised me. I didn't think they'd run quite as well on in the rain, but I never had any issues with it. And the best thing about these tyres, and they are sort of chunky, if you look at the back of them and if you look at the front, the best thing about them, they handle 100 km/h cruise quite well, and it's got no wobbles, and it's got no you just can't feel the road surfaces, and if anything you just get a really good ride over the bumps. So overall with that, happy there. And I'm usually moving a little bit quicker along there now, so I'm hitting up around at it, cruising it now at around about 100 km/h into 6, and it'll run along quite well in that. And if I come down to a town and I'm just running through it at 50 km/h, I can find I can still take off if I control the throttle and not drop any gears. I can just go through it, accelerate slowly in 6th, and just get back up to the 100 km zone or whatever zone I'm in with no drama whatsoever if I feel a little bit lazy in that line. But overall I still think this is a great little bike to own, and runs nice around town. Clutch is good, brakes are good, gearbox is good. There's really nothing that I could really complain about, and things haven't changed on the front one. The front brake is a little bit spongy. If I grab the brake here now, you may be able to see what I mean. So we're on the brakes here now, and if I pull on it, see how far it come in? That far? So that's a lot more than I'm used to. But then again, braided, if you can get on a braided front line, might be the go there, or maybe a brake bleed. So that's something to think about in my case, and that may be something I'll go into there. But at this stage, that's a fairly noisy truck, and I'm a fair way away from the road. But overall, I'm quite happy. Back up along here I was going 70 and occasionally 80 km/h on the dirt, and I found tyres really good in that line. So overall how I've set these up with the Moto's tyres, I think it's been a really good hit in that line. The only problem I've got here lately is where I live, it's been raining fairly heavily virtually every afternoon, so it's not something you think you can go out. But I'll put up a couple of different photos I've taken, and we'll see what you think of those too. But overall at this stage it looks like to me this bike's staying, and I'm quite happy riding it, even though I think it come at around 170 kilos or something like that. By the time you had the other goodies on it, it's probably up around that 180, 185. But once you get going on it, there's no drama. If anything, you miss watching this for the first time, if anything, those Moto's tyres, if they did anything, they lifted the ride height for, I don't know, maybe up half an inch or so. And then if it's wet and I'm sitting this on the seat like so, right there, they're getting a wet arse, it's probably put it up another inch above that. But that's how it doesn't worry me. I'm used to riding it now, and I figure that's better than parking out there in the day. I get caught in the rain and that seat there gets all wet and I've got to ride back with a wet tail. That's about all I can tell you on this side. This is just a quick clip to tell you that this bike is staying, and I'll just ride her out now and just see how things go. I might as well get a bit of money out of it rather than lose a couple of grand on it and just look at other ventures in that line. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Take a look. Hope you found this useful. If you're on the fence and you're thinking about one of these, I still think that they're worth buying. So you know, if you're after one and you want a good cheap bike for $6,500 right away in stock form, I still would knock back one of these, because so far so good. Best thing about it, I found that even yesterday, even in 6th gear, I can still pull up the hills at 100 kilometres an hour. And you know, if you want to get up there a bit quicker, you can always drop back to 5th or 4th, which when I put a bit more kilometres on it, I'll probably hurry it along a bit better in that line. But overall, it's really good. So that's about all I can tell you about this cheap version of a motorbike called a Suzuki Vstrom 250 SX, and it's well worth buying, well put together, and so far no issues whatsoever, apart from that bit of a spongy brake pedal on the front, or brake lever I should say. Now, apart from that, if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Want to subscribe to it, please do. Catch you later. Cheers.